Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by your truly tech coach Ralph, where we are engineer twin. In today's episode of Candid Conversations, I want to talk to you about why don't you brag about yourself a little bit more, and do you actually have something that you can actually brag about yourself about, right? And something significant, something that is of value to you. I know, like, some people like to brag about stuff that's just not important, things that are just not helpful, but do you have anything that you can actually brag about? I know one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, Mitch, he always asks, are you complaining or are you bragging? Well, today I'm going to be talking specifically about bragging. I'm not much to complain, but I do like a good brag, right? So before we get into that, bragging a little bit about yourself, finding something to brag about, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live, as well as drop new content, as well as go to techcoachralph.dev so you can see all of the amazing exclusive content that we have that you're not going to find anywhere else on the internet, and there is nobody else who's going to break it down the way that I break it down. Things like how to use your calendar efficiently, how to set it up, how to use Glassdoor, how to use LinkedIn, how to use AI to help your job search and your resume and your interview skills, all of that good stuff, as well as sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, where I can work with you to help you get to that next step, right? With that being said, let's jump into our topic of the day. So, what do I mean by bragging a little bit? So, what have you done that you find is cool and significant and that is going to help you get to the next level? So, I like to, as you can see on this channel, especially when we go live, we are exploring so many different things. We're trying different things out. We're reviewing different frameworks, and then we say, hey, you know what? Let's try this framework. Last year, we were digging into cybersecurity stuff, setting up tools like Grafana that we can, and then using an application that we built to have the logs flowing through Grafana. So many different things, and a lot of times though, we'll do something and then we don't even talk about it. I say no. You have to brag about it. I was watching a video the other day on YouTube, right? And this CEO was talking about how to excel into your, like, in your company, how to grow. And she was talking about you have to be able to brag about yourself. What is it of significance that you do? Because a lot of times we don't communicate. We just say, you know what? My work is going to speak for itself. And I used to think like that back in the days, like, oh, my work is going to speak for itself. But you know the saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does it actually make a sound? Which technically it does, but if there's no one around to hear it, then who cares, right? So what I always tell you guys now is, all right, go out there and do something. You know, stop studying forever and put the book down, put the course down and say, all right, now from what I've learned, I'm actually going to do something. And then after you actually do it, be proud of that and share that with everyone. I remember this question that we had on a Q&A show where someone was saying that they started using Vim, right? That's an editor in Linux and Macs and stuff like that. They started using Vim, and that his wife couldn't care less about it. Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. The fact it doesn't matter if your wife doesn't care, if your kids don't care, if your mother doesn't care, if your father doesn't care, if your sister doesn't care, if nobody else cares, but it's meaningful to you, then that is what brag to yourself. Like, because at the end of the day, you are working towards growth and progress, and you should be happy and proud of that. I want to give a couple of examples, right? One of one of my Patreon members, as well as one of my good friends, they came to me with a project idea that they had. It says, I'm not gonna share his idea with you, but I'll say this, like, oh, I want to create this thing, and I want to connect it I can share this. I want to connect it to Azure. I'm like, okay, how do you plan on doing that? And he explained. I'm like, okay, cool, that sounds really good. Just go out there and go out there and do something. And then my friend Telltale Walk said, a few minutes later, he's like, I just made my first API call. And I was like, what? Did you really? And that meant the world to me, because you know why that meant the world to me? Because that meant the world to him, right? Because especially when you're trying something out, you're trying something new out and you're not familiar with it, and you just make a little bit of progress. It's a little bit of progress, right? it just gives you that sense of encouragement to keep going. And that type of bragging is absolutely amazing because it's like, I did it. I did it. My kid, he'll do like the most like little thing, right? And he's just like, I did it, I did it. I'm like, yes, exactly, you did it. And now that's the encouragement to keep going. Because if you just throw it to the wayside, if you throw it to the wayside, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Some people, every single time at bat, they just want to hit a home run. Getting on base is great, right? Hitting a double is great. You know, it's not all about. Oh, I just got to go hit a grand slam out of the park every single time. I think those video games really messed us up because we get to bat and we're just trying to hit it out of the park every single time. Or the people who broke records while taking drugs to break those records. Like everyone wants to hit a home run now. And I'm like, no, the small wins, brag about those because those smaller wins lead to bigger wins and bigger wins and bigger wins. And now, once you could brag about those little things that you've done, right? When you can brag about those little things that you've done, then you're able to set smaller goals, right? So, okay, I want to small goal. I want to like my guy Telltale Walk, right? I want to I want to make my first API call. That's a goal. And once you do it, you're like, okay, now that I've learned that, what else can I do with it? Now, let's go to the other side. My guy Yakar, so supportive and helpful. And anytime like somebody comes like, oh, I want to get into tech, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. He's like, okay, go talk to Ralph, go talk to Ralph, go talk to Ralph. And then I get all these people who send me like one message, and I'm like, okay, and I answer their question, and then I never hear back from them again. And I'm like, why? Like, what is going through your mind? Like, are we working towards something that we can actually be proud of and brag about, or are we just like at the end of the day wasting people's time? What is our goal? Me, the reason that like my guy, I mean, myself, I asked me the other day on a live stream, like, what keeps me motivated? Well, something that keeps me motivated is constantly learning and getting these small wins because every time, like for me, every time it's a green check mark. Like, okay, we got this work, we got this work, we got this work. Okay, this isn't working. Let's figure it out. This isn't working. Let's figure it out. We figure it out. Boom, 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 boom. Right. And just that, like the ability to brag that, oh, I learned something new. Oh, I did this. I did that. Oh, I researched this and I figured out how to do it. And we just continuously keep improving, right? We're continually deploying, we're continually improving, just like a regular CI/CD pipeline in our mind, in our attitude, we need to have that same CI/CD process as well. Because if we stop, then I believe that we're moving backwards. If we stop, the world keeps turning, and now we are moving backwards. We're not going anywhere. And therefore, if we're not going anywhere, to me, I believe we're moving backwards. You know, I just think that we have a lot more, we have so much more potential, but I just I don't know. Maybe I'm different, but I just think that we say we want to do something, and then we come back to it maybe a month later, 2 months later, if at all. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the year, people are gonna like so many people. Oh, I want to get into tech. I want to get into tech. I want to get into tech. 2 months, 2 weeks later, a month later, 2 months later, it's gonna be out of their mind. They're gonna go right back to doing what they used to do. What have you built that you can actually brag about? What of value have you built that you can actually brag about? And here's the thing: once you have an idea of what you want to build, it is going to it is going to evolve into something that is amazing and magical. But you got to get started to do the first thing. And there's so like I'm going to give you an example. Every little thing that I touch is something that's braggable. And why is it braggable? Because it's important to me. And I'll be sitting here just talking, and Mitch will say, my guy Mitch, my best friend Mitch, he'll say, "Are you bragging?" And I'm like, "I guess so. If that's how it sounds, I guess so because I'm proud of myself. Nobody else needs to be proud of me, but I'm proud of myself because of what I accomplish. The ability to do more in a month, in 4 weeks, than most people can do in 4 years, sometimes in 40 years, because we work. And hell yeah, I'm going to brag about that. But while I brag about that, I wish you could brag about the same thing. And I think you can. I think you can, but do you actually want it? And guess what, me? I've been in tech for 20 years. I've, you know, I've done I've been in all sorts of industries. I've done tech support. I've done web development. I've done QA. I've done QA engineering. I dabble in DevOps and all that type of stuff. Web engineering. We do a lot of not web engineering. We do a lot of software engineering, software development on this channel. Mobile development. We've done it all, and we don't miss, and we stay consistent. So, am I breaking? Hell yeah. But why can I do that? Because I've actually done stuff. As I'm learning, I say, all right, let's apply it. When we've been doing DevOps on Sundays, right? Terraform, we got very, very familiar with Terraform in a year. We used the projects that I do with the Tech Barbarians in order to build out our Terraform infrastructure. Infrastructure is code on AWS. We even did some of it for Terraform on Firebase. I haven't done this on stream, but I've looked into Microsoft Azure, um, learning how to configure MongoDB and all that. Just so many different things like AWS. We've dived deep into AWS, Route 53, private link, load balancers, Elastic. What do they call it? Elastic Beanstalk, ECR for Elastic Container Registry, ECS for Elastic Container Services, all of that stuff, right? And a year ago, a little over a year ago, I didn't know 90% of that stuff. Might have looked at them a couple of times, but I didn't know 90% of that stuff. So I gave myself the right to brag. But you have that right as well if you put in the work. And you got to show it off. You got to show it off. Something that I encourage the people that I coach to do is you're learning this stuff, right? You're learning whether it's QA, whether it's DevOps, whether it's cloud engineering, whether it's cybersecurity, whatever it is that you're learning, right? But as you're learning it, what are you going to do with it? And I say, you know what? Make a presentation about what you've learned and post it on LinkedIn or something. Because you need to get comfortable sharing about the things that you know and what you've done. Because guess what? You're gonna end up in an interview and you're gonna have to promote yourself. You're gonna have to brag about yourself in an interview. Your resume is a brag book about why you are so awesome and why you deserve the job that you're interviewing for ahead of anybody else. So you gotta brag about yourself. That is the job. And now, after you get into a company, if you want to move up the ranks, you have to be able to show the value that you bring. What at the end of the day, what exactly is bragging, anyways? Bragging is able to relay your value. Because if you can't, then will anybody know about it? Your work does speak for you, but what speaks louder than your work is your voice. To being able to articulate the type of work that you do and why it's so important. What value did it bring? Don't let people guess the value. You tell them the value that you bring. You know, I think that's very important. And like I was saying, so my guy Yakar, he'll send many people my way, right? And I'll talk to them They ask me a question, I give them a very nice, detailed answer, and then I never hear from them again. I'm like, what is like? I don't understand. I just don't understand. And honestly, I feel bad because my friend your car, he ends up wasting his time telling people, oh, like because he cares, right? And then I end up wasting my time because I'm trying to give some advice to people, and they don't do anything with it. They don't follow up or anything like that. It's weird. But I have some other people like Telltale Walk who will whatever research that I make available to him, he takes it to the fullest. And and he's like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to learn, this is where I want to go. And and he's asking me for advice, he's asking for recommendations, and I'm like, let's go, let's do it. Right? Just go out there and do it, present what you have, and then get feedback. At the end of the day, feedback is so important. So while you're bragging about the amazing thing that you've done, embrace the feedback, make adjustments, and go out there and continue to win. I'm telling you, I have people that I work with where they're studying for their certifications. We'll spend hours on a call trying to figure out like, okay, how do we navigate through these cloud providers, and how are we able to deploy an application on this one? How are we able to deploy an application on that one, and so forth. I have other people who they will come up with different ideas for apps and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, well, it's a great opportunity to get more familiar with product management and like write out the features that you want, and let's go out there and build it. So many different opportunities. I'm gonna give you one more example. My guy Don, a genius, right? Like he'll just come up with these different applications that will help small businesses, and then he'll license out the application to them and stuff like that. And his mind is always innovating. If there was somebody who could brag, it would be my guy Don, right? So you have the opportunity to brag about yourself, but are you willing to do the work to get braggable work? Braggable content. Are you going to put in the effort? Are you going to put in the work to do it? I'm telling you, like it's all on you. It is all on you at this point. There is nothing. There is like back in the days, you could say college is too expensive. I don't want to go into debt. This, that, and the other. Nowadays, so many resources. YouTube University. You're on this channel. You, YouTube, I would say the majority of people on YouTube, they have their comments open where you can drop them a comment if you have a question, depending on the size of their channel, you'll get an answer. And if they can't answer you, maybe somebody else in the comments can answer you. Do you leave comments on videos? Are you part of any discords? Are you taking online courses? Where can you team up with people? Where can you get ideas on how to build something that is braggable? I want you to brag. I want you to tell the world how awesome that you are. Show the world how awesome that you are. Build something. Whatever it is. It can be something as simple as, oh, I have a product idea. Let me take a product ownership course and let me write out the different fee stories and features and stuff like that. Basic stuff like that. What is your goal? What do you want to do? I'll be right in the middle of a live show, and I come up with an idea in my head for an application such as our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go to my Trello board and let me add this new idea, this new feature, or something I need to fix. And then on a Thursday night live stream, we'll just go ahead and do it. And it's like, all right, let's go through our backlog. What do we need to do? And we make our enhancements. So many different ideas that you can do so that you can become braggable. So you can become memorable. Like, oh yeah, I remember they did this. And now they can ask you a question. Some like people can add value into the world, and then now the world will come to you to say, hey, I need your help. I need your advice. All right? So many things you can do. Go out there and do something. Don't be one of those people who say they want to do something and then they never, ever follow up on it. Be the person that says, I want to do something and I'm going to get it done. And there is nothing that's going to stop me until it's done. And then once it's done, now, let's make it better. All right? Those are my thoughts for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully this gave you some type of idea, some type of motivation, some type of inspiration to go get some discipline to get it done. All right? Go out there, find something to brag about, and then share it with the world. Add value into the world, and you will rise to heights that you never, ever even thought about. All right? With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do me a favor on the way out. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live, as well as drop new content. And go to techcoachdrive.dev, where if you want to build something that is braggable, sign up for one-on-one coaching at techcoachdrive.dev. And sign up for exclusive content as well. I upload the sprint reviews that the Tech Barbarians do. I upload the full Scrum Night. I have videos on how to use your calendar efficiently. I'm going to be updating my resume this month. I always like to update my resume. And you can get information on how to use LinkedIn, AI, Glassdoor to help refine your job search and your interview preparation. That is all at techcoachdrive.dev. Sign up today, sign up for free, and then you can upgrade later on. Definitely sign up for one-on-one coaching if you want to level up, right? With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Candid Conversations. This is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Rolling through the hood, see the train so bright. No more whining, no more fights. People winning in tech startups rise. Unity is power under the sky. No victim games, no more cries. Success stories in every eye. Hustle strong with dreams unfurled. Building bridges, changing the world. Turning the page on all that mess. Focus on progress, nothing less. Hands together, we move as one. In the hood where the game is won. Turning the page on all that mess. Focus on progress, nothing less. Hands together, we move as one. In the hood where the game is won. Coding magic in crowded rooms. Startups bloom like flowers in June. Innovation flows, people fly. Hard work pays under the sky. Lift your head up, take that ride. On this journey we take as our guide. From the streets to the stars we aim. Success our mission, it's not a game. Turning the page on all that mess. Focus on progress, nothing less. Hands together we move as one. In the hood where the game is won. Turning the page on all that mess. Focus on progress, nothing less. Hands together we move as one. In the hood where the game is won. Lift your head up, take that ride. On this journey we take as our guide. From the streets to the stars we aim. Success our mission, it's not a game. No victim games, no more cries. Success stories in every eye. Hustle strong with dreams unfurled. Building bridges, changing the world. Turning the page